Sorry. So I'm back, and I am actually now a married woman, which is very exciting. I got married over the weekend, and obviously if you've been following me, you've seen all of my manic wedding project whip stuff. So I did finish the projects for the wedding. I'm going to talk about them today, but it was really just like an absolutely perfect day. Nothing went wrong. I'm whispering that like as if something's going to go wrong now, but like the wedding happened. As we were driving up on Thursday, there was a tornado warning for the majority of New England, and really extreme thunderstorm warnings and stuff. Luckily we missed driving through that. There was just like a bit of rain for us, but of course, like, weekend starts with a tornado warning. Saturday morning of the wedding, my bridesmaids are texting me like, hey, I'm pulling up now, but like there's a tree down on the road to your venue. And I was like, okay. But the fire department cleared that out of there like pretty fast, and the weather cleared up for the wedding. It was beautiful. It was absolutely perfect and beautiful. So if you're watching this and you were there, thanks for coming. I'm not depriving people of wedding pictures. I just haven't posted any yet because I don't have them yet. We're getting sneak peeks soon. Once I have the photos back of the wedding, you are not going to be able to get rid of me. So thank you for letting me go a little bit quiet. Due to the wedding and everything, my shop is still on hiatus through the July 4th weekend. So I'll be back on July 6th. I'll be back online for you to shop some yarn. But I have a lot to talk to you about because it's been a few weeks and I've got yarn that I've purchased. I have projects that I've finished, projects I've started. Let's dive into it. I think we will start with finished objects. So as I said, I have finished the projects for my wedding. If you remember, I was knitting a shawl for my mother who walked me down the aisle. And then I also knit my husband's tie. And I think the last time that I talked to YouTube, about them, neither project was really like anywhere near done. I could be wrong about that, but neither of the projects was done because I finished them both like days before the wedding. So I'm very proud of myself. I did finish both of them. I do not have formal pictures, like I said, of the finished objects at the wedding. And obviously the shawl has gone home with my mom. But here's a photo of the shawl being blocked, which was just a crazy endeavor in and of itself. I used 18 blocking mats and a full box of blocking pins. It was awesome. It was really great. I'm really proud of myself for finishing it. Thankfully, I have my studio space now, so as you can see in this photo, I laid out all the blocking in my studio where I dye my yarn because I wasn't dyeing any yarn last week, and I just left it there for like 2 days, and I got it back the day before we went up for the wedding, and it was perfectly dry and it was beautiful. And my mom's dress had like sequins and beads and stuff. The shawl, even though it was really lacy, it didn't get caught on any of those, which was great. So this is the number 32 lace shawl, which was published in Vogue Knitting. I realized that this pattern was published like in 2007. So it's a pretty classic lace shawl situation. I had to add the end pieces that are like scallopy. I wish I had it on me so I could show you. But so I finished the final repeats of the main shawl body, which is the big rectangle. And then at the end of it, you cast on a certain number of stitches. So you have the whole shawl rectangle like this, and then you cast on a bunch of stitches going this way. And then you are knitting a whole new lace pattern now going this way. And then on every row coming back down, you knit the last stitch together with the next stitch of the main shawl body, and that adds a vertical perpendicular rectangle on top of the shawl. So I had to do that twice because I had to do that also for the cast on edge, which this shawl starts with a provisional cast on so that you can unpick it to pick up the stitches and then do the shawl edge on that end. So it was definitely an endeavor. I'm really glad that I got to make something like this for my mom. It was really beautiful and very special. I don't think I will ever be making a giant lace shawl again. I don't mind a little bit of lace, like a couple yarn overs here and there, but this was just like definitely a beast of an undertaking. I'm really, really glad that I did it. I'm okay with not doing it again. I have the rest of the yarn here. Let me grab that 1 second. Okay, so since the shawl, I kind of finished it in a hurry and whatever, I didn't actually get a chance to weigh it, I don't think. So I don't know how much of the cone I used, but here's the remainder of the cone. This is Valley Yarns 210 Tencel Merino in the color navy. My mom's dress was like a really deep blue, so this was a perfect match. So I also have another colorway in this because we were deciding which color would be the best fit for my mom's shawl to match her dress, so I actually bought 2 colors. And I just want to show, like, here's the remainder of this cone, but here's an unused cone. So this is the math on this. I clearly used a lot of it. I actually might use this. This is the same yarn, just in the color Majestic Blue. I might use this at some point to maybe make like a big lace, not actual lace, not with holes, but like a lace weight, like beach cover up or something, you know, something like kind of flowy and elegant. That is something that would be nice, but I really don't have plans to do that anytime soon. I'm dumb, sorry. I just checked Ravelry and I actually used 0.71 skeins of this, which came out to 1,095 yards. So, yeah, I think this whole thing, whatever the math is on that, I used most of the skein. Yeah, and there's over 1,000 yards of shawl. I ended up doing less repeats than the pattern called for because I was with my mom and she was looking at it and I was like, how does this feel for length? I think I ended up doing 18 out of 21 main body repeats, and she was like, that's totally fine, you can move on to doing the edges, which is great, because I think that if I had done the full 21 repeats, I might not have had time to add on the edges, and the edges really make it look so beautiful. So I did end up weighing it, and it was 1,095 yards, which is pretty wild. It's definitely big. That's what happens with lace. So yeah, very, very proud of this. Won't be making it again. If you're comfortable reading charts and you're comfortable with lace and you really want a very delicate, beautiful, drapey lace shawl, I do recommend this pattern. I just don't recommend doing it on a deadline, unless that deadline is like a year from now, and then you'll be good. But it was intense, and I'm very proud of myself. It's the most complicated thing I think I've ever knit, and that includes like big color work projects and stuff. I'm very proud of myself, so I do recommend it if you need a big shawl. It also, like, I do like that it doesn't have a bunch of increases and decreases like a boomerang shawl or a triangle shawl. You do keep the same number of stitches basically the whole way through until you get to the end bits, and even then you're also still keeping the same number of stitches, just in a different direction. So yeah, that's my first finished object. Again, super proud of myself. I can't wait until photos come in from the photographer, because I do have photos of like me giving it to my mom and everything. So that's very exciting. Okay, moving on to the next wedding project was my husband's tie. I finished this Wednesday of the wedding, and then I threw it in a garment bag and washed it. It's really long. If you make a tie, it turns out that every step in the pattern is just like, okay, work for 25 inches, and you're like, how long is a tie? I actually think the last time I showed you this, I was still on this piece, the wide front piece. You do some decreases, you do like the back of the neck, then you do a few more decreases, and then you just work down to the end and do another point at the other end. Then you also add a little band to tuck the tie into itself, as you can see here. So you pick up some stitches on the back of the wider part and add those. Again, this is the Wedding Necktie by Susan B. Anderson. He really loved it. It looked perfect with his suit, which was green. Everybody was very impressed that I made it. That's what I was looking for. He did say that it took a couple tries to figure out how to tie it, because obviously it's a different texture, it's stretchier, it's just a whole different material than like a traditional tie. So the whole thing is knit in seed stitch, as you can see, and this is in the color, this is East Coast Yarn Co.'s fingering base in superwash fingering base in the color Water Lily, which I think is perfect. It has these little pops of gold and blue, and as you can see, there's like a tiny bit of very gentle color pooling with like little bits of blue. I think it was perfect. Perfect for a summer wedding. And I'm very proud because now this is in every single picture of our wedding. Well, of him in our wedding. So it looks great. Looked perfect with his suit. Was great. Was just exactly what he needed. And I'm really glad that he accepted my offer to make this for him. I do want to clarify something. I've gotten some comments here on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever, where people have been seeing me knitting these things for the wedding, and they've been like, why are you doing something for these people? Everybody should be doing things for you, the bride. And thank you for sticking up for me which you don't need to do. I knit things for my loved ones because I love them. Because I love them, and because I knew that I personally didn't want to wear anything that I had knit for the wedding. I didn't want to knit my own wedding dress. I didn't want to knit myself a shawl because I knew I'd be too hot. I just didn't want that. That was like not my dream, not my goal. I just knew that I didn't want to do that for myself. But I also knew that it wouldn't really be my wedding if there wasn't something that was knit, right? Like, yarn had to be involved in the wedding somehow. So I offered. It wasn't like my mom and my husband were like, can you make me this complicated and time-consuming thing for the wedding that I'm sure you're already stressed about? Like, no. I offered to make my mom the shawl probably like, I don't know, sometime last fall maybe. And then we picked a pattern together, and she picked out her dress so that we could match the color as closely as possible. But it was a group effort, and I'm really glad that I did it. Same with the tie. I offered, I was like, hey, would you be open to me making your tie? Is that something that you would like from me? And he said yes. I showed him some examples of what they would look like. We decided on a long standard tie as opposed to a bow tie. And he picked out the yarn from my collection. He really likes East Coast Yarn Co.'s yarn. I've made some socks in this base for him before. And so he was like, well, I really like that one. And so we went for it. And yeah, so I'm just saying that I made these things for these people I love because I love them, and because I didn't want to wear anything that I had knit, which is a decision I'm totally fine with. I looked really good in my dress. My outfit was amazing. I looked really beautiful, and I didn't need to be wearing something that I made, so I didn't. Just to clear that up a little bit, because I have gotten those things, and like, listen, people did a lot of stuff for me on my wedding day. I was in charge. I was telling people where to go and when. I was very, very, very much in charge on my wedding, and I didn't need people to be like princessing me. Like, what, is someone else gonna make my mom a shawl? No. I'm the one that has that ability, so I use that ability to make things for people that I love. End of story. The next finished object that I have, because I have 3 today, is a project that you've definitely seen before. This is a test knit. Okay, I just want to name. It is technically not finished, because I haven't blocked it, and I haven't added the buttons. However, the knitting on it is done, and I finished it on my wedding day while I was hanging out waiting for hair and makeup, because that is the type of person that I am. I also have like 2 ends to weave in because I didn't end up doing them, but here she is. This is the Grand Slam tee by Perfectly Knotted that I tested. The test period is over now and the pattern should be releasing shortly. Please ignore this end. It's this lovely baseball tee with contrast sleeves and then this contrast piping down the front. It's got a curved hem, as you can see, in the front and the back, and I knit mine up in close-ish to Red Sox colors, but this color, the red, is the Winter Takes It All from my Mamma Mia collection, and then the tan color is Honey Honey, which is also from the same collection. So it's Red Sox adjacent. It's Red Sox-ish, but I could duplicate stitch on a bee or something, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And it's great. It fits me really well. Let me show you. So I will probably just be doing a steam block of this just to lay out the front piping. Ooh, look at how cute this is though. I love this. It fits me really nicely. Let me show you. Here you can see the curved hem situation. It's very subtle. You do that with short rows at the end. And then obviously, like, I have my markers here for where to add buttons. Like where the buttonholes are and where the buttons go. But I am very proud of this. It's very nice. The seam blocking will help, but like, it's so cute. I'm very proud of myself for finishing this, and I have a couple of Red Sox games coming up in August, so I am prepared to wear this. I'm not going to wear it for the rest of the video because the little stitch marker guys are kind of annoying, but again, this is for Perfectly Knotted. Great pattern. Again, knocked it out of the park. It's a baseball joke for all my baseball heads out there. I love that I made it in my own yarn, and it's DK weight. There's also some bust dart shaping, and there's optional waist shaping. Actually, all of that shaping is optional if you need it for your body or for your preference. Claire's patterns are great. I really love testing for her. There's always plenty of considerations about different body shapes. Most things are always made to measure, so you can just take your own measurements and then work as much as you need. There's a whole calculation thing in her patterns for any sort of shaping or whatever that you're doing. I did add a little bust shaping, which you can see. Where is it? It's like down here, just to kind of let this lay the right way. I don't have a major measurement difference between like my upper chest and my full bust, but it's worth adding like a little bit. And then that also means that this is just for me. This is my pattern. So very proud of this. I think the colors look great together, and it's done. Maybe I'll do like a little duplicate stitch bee here. I really, really love this pattern. So, and I did the part that I finished on my wedding day was this piping, which you do with a crochet hook. I was just like doing this while just chatting with my bridesmaids, waiting for her hair and makeup, and they were like, "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm focused, locked in." Those are my 3 finished objects, which is pretty wild. I was kind of in manic finishing knitting projects with deadlines mode last week, so proud of myself. And I guess I'm gonna change back into the thing I'm wearing beforehand, and we can talk yarn buying, and then I have a number of whips to show you. So funnily enough, this vest I'm wearing, that I was wearing before, is actually another Claire Jackson Perfectly Knotted pattern that I tested last year with my own yarn. Shocking. I just wanted to show it off. This is the Islander vest that I made with my colorway Acadia on my feline sock base. And it's got these cute little ties in the front. I want to make another one of these, I think with negative ease. Well, the pattern is supposed to kind of have negative ease. This one ended up being a little bit more positive, but I like it because I can wear it like this, just over a little tank top, or I can wear it with like a shirt or a dress or something under it. And it's a little flowy and big. I like that, but I think I'm gonna make another one with negative ease, and I used like 1.5, 2 skeins of sock yarn for this, and I have lots of that amount of yarn in my stash from other dyers. Only Claire Jackson can get me to knit flat this much and purl this much, because obviously this whole thing is worked flat. But it's really cute. It's really great. You can also add more ties onto it. Okay, so I was like, hang on, I'm wearing something that I made. Gotta show it off. So yarn acquisitions. Let's see. I have my little knitting journal here. I've bought 4 skeins of yarn in June, and I bought 6 skeins of yarn in May. The May ones you know about. We're gonna start with some Boston Fiber Company yarn. I was there at the beginning of this month for a sip and stitch with Meredith Lamont, who is the leaf hopper on Instagram. She was in Boston and was able to do a like Q&A talk about her work with bugs. And that was just really cool. She's like the best person ever. So that was very exciting. And then I was there and I had a can of wine. So I was like, well, I have to buy some yarn. So I bought 2 skeins of Boston Fiber Company's from their new collection, which is, what is it? It's like their literary collection. These are gorgeous. This is 2 skeins on their Dorothy base of the colorway Dykes to Watch Out For. This base was recommended to me by Sarah, the owner of Boston Fiber Company. They were like, you want cashmere? And I said yes. So this is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and then 10% silk. So it's very soft, very luxurious. It has this, oh no, this one just came undone. Okay, we'll look at the other one. It's got this like black and then kind of like green variegation to it. It's really, really beautiful. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of it, but 2 fingering weight skeins. These are 437 yards each, so they're pretty high yardage. 2 skeins of this can make me really like any shirt, fingering weight shirt for my body. Could make me another one of these. I haven't decided what I want to make with those yet, but I'm very happy to have them. So those are 2 of my skeins. Just really, really great. It's from their in-house dyer and their collection. So can you see it? Who knows? And then the next skein of yarn that I have to show you, I also got at Boston Fiber Company recently, and I don't have the tag on me, but I will add the full base information here. But this is from Enzula Fiber Company. It's Pride yarn. It's just rainbow. Hello. With like little tiny mini stripes. It's also sock weight. And I am making a Musselburgh out of it. Musselburgh, Musselburgh, however you say it. That's what I'm making. It's looking a little bit of a mess right now. I actually brought this up to Maine for the wedding weekend as well, so that I could have something in my purse, because we did some like family time stuff as well. So this is what the little stripies are looking like right now. It's kind of crazy looking, but like in a really fun kind of like Sesame Street kids way. I really, really like it. I'm having fun with this. I'm doing this on size 3 needles, so it's going to be a pretty like tight gauge. And I think I'm almost at the point of doing the increases around the crown to where I want it to be, so I can just work it straight. And then this is definitely another one of those projects for me where it's like, I'll finish it someday. I have no deadlines on this. This also is obviously one of the whips that I have for you, but I bought this skein like 2 weeks ago at Boston Fiber Company. I don't know why it's not tracking there, but yay. And then the last 2 skeins of yarn I have, I did buy them in May, but they got here in June, and I have to unbox them with you, I guess. It's gonna be a little loud, a little noisy. If you know me, you know how much I love Republica Unicornia. I love her yarn, I love her project bags, I love their ethics, and just like one of the coolest people. I really hope that someday either I'm down in Georgia or Kathleen is up here and we can hang out, because I feel like I know we get along. Okay, we have matching bathrobes by accident, all right? Impossible to open. Low. There we go. Okay, we're in. Again, not sure what I'm making with this, but again, it's 2 sock weight skeins of yarn that I'll make a shirt out of. Ooh, I forgot what this was. That's exciting. It's these gorgeous, gorgeous girls. This is Kathleen's Pure BFL base. So it's blue-faced Leicester wool. It's not focusing. Hold on. Okay, this might be better. Aha. Yes, okay. So this is the Pure BFL base. 2 of them in the color A Cunning Plan. These are also 438 yards each. They're 100% superwash blue-faced Leicester. Like, I have a base just like this. They're beautiful. It's like this kind of plum red kind of wine color. I certainly had a plan for these that I don't remember now, which does track for me, but it will probably be another shirt of some kind. Like, imagine how cool my wardrobe is gonna look when I have all of these shirts. Maybe I was planning on making an outline tee with these. That could be it, which I think would look really cool. Jessie May's outline tee. I made the outline raglan years ago, and the dopamine of dropping the stitches and then getting it right is really nice. So that's probably what I'll make out of these. I'm in no rush, but I really love Kathleen's yarn, and I'm actually going to talk about it again soon. So those are all of my fiber purchases. And I guess we're going to have to go into whips now, because I have 4 more of them to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the Musselburgh again. You've seen it. Okay, we're going to dive into whips. You've seen the Musselburgh. It's a hat. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go to one of my more impromptu fun projects. And then I'll talk about a couple sweaters. So, a couple of weeks ago, it was in, what is it called? National Knit in Public Day, or Worldwide Knit in Public Day. And Boston Fiber Company, along with Tight Knit in Roslindale and Stitch House in Dorchester, did a 3 local yarn store collaboration to bring a bunch of knitters and crafters to the Red Sox game. I went, it was so much fun, and we got like little goodie bags from Boston Fiber Company, and it was just like really, really delightful, really lovely. And there were like 40, fact check me, I don't know, there were 40 maybe of us all knitting and crocheting in the stands at this game. So much fun. It was a really hot day, but we kind of crushed it. It was really great. People kept coming up in the stands and being like, "Are you guys knitting?" And we were like, "We're all knitting, actually," which was really, really fun. Sorry, my hair is really bothering me today. So even though I was in the midst of like wedding knitting, whatever, because this was a week before the wedding, I had to cast something on in my Sweet Caroline yarn, which is obviously inspired by the Red Sox. And so I did, like, that morning, the morning of, and I decided to make another one of the summer camp kerchiefs that I made recently. I made one in May and it took me like 2 days. It was really fast, really speedy. So I started another one of those. Here is what my Sweet Caroline yarn looks like, by the way. It's mostly this red color with some navy blue speckles for variegation. I really love her. It's one of my favorite colorways. And I'm using my feline sock base as well. So here it is. The summer camp kerchief that I made in May has, so that pattern has like 3 motifs of how many eyelet rows you do basically. The one I made in May was the medium one, so the eyelet rows, there's like 3 or 5 of them or something, and they're every, I don't know, there's a larger stockinette gap in between the eyelet rows. So this one is I'm making the motif that has the most frequent eyelet rows. So obviously I've already done 2, and then I'm about to do a 3rd, which is why this is the stopping point. And it's just fun. It's really easy once you memorize the pattern. You're basically just like increasing at certain spots, and then you do the eyelet. Like it's very basic. In a good way. If you really want like a cute accessory or whatever, I do recommend this pattern because it's easy to memorize and it looks really cute, and you can honestly play around with it. I think once you kind of know what you're doing, I feel like you could probably add eyelet rows really wherever you wanted after a certain point. So here she is. You can see the speckles in this. Yeah, so I started this to work on at the Red Sox game, and I'll probably finish this at some point soon now that I'm not in wedding mode. So I can have it, I can wear it to more games. I think it's just really, really cute, really fun, simple, and like what else was I going to bring to that game to work on that wasn't in my yarn? Actually, at least 2 other people at the game had my Boston themed yarn. My friend Abby was working with America's Ballpark, which is the Fenway Park colored yarn, which goes with this as the Red Sox color, and then someone else was working on a crochet project with my MBTA mini skeins that are the colors of the subway lines here in Boston. So that was really cute. I was like, oh, that's my yarn. So I like this. It's another one of those projects, like there's no deadline on this. It's just for fun. Speaking of just for fun things, I forgot that I had this. I had actually been trying my hand at crocheting a little bit lately. Not anything super intense or complicated, but I'm really working on like counting. This is what I've been working on. I took a break on this once it became wedding crunch time. This is going to be a market, like a grocery bag. If you could just imagine that it doesn't look like a disc. I'm just getting to the point where I'm like actually building structure on the walls of the bag. And I think I've done a pretty good job. I think my counting has been like okay. I already hold my yarn continental, so that has been an easy thing to translate into crocheting. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be at the point where I'm crocheting clothes, but I think it would be nice. It's gonna be nice to be able to use some skeins of yarn to like make a quick bag or coasters, or I really want to make those like crochet house plants that you can sit in a pot and they have like little vines that you make. I think all that would be really fun. I want to crochet like a little set of leaves to put on my husband's headphones that he wears for work. I want to put I think that'd be really cute. But I have to like know what I'm doing first. So this is primarily double crochets. Now I'm doing V stitches. I think, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to look like this. I'm excited about it. This yarn is sparkly, first of all. I don't know if that's picking up on the camera, but it's sparkly. This is Honey and Quill's colorway Ribbon Candy on their Sparkle Sock base. It's a Christmas colorway, but it's so it's like this pink and green with like little bits of darker green and darker red in there, and the speckles are just really lovely. And like, who doesn't need a sparkly grocery bag, basically? I don't know if I'll have enough yardage. This is just one skein. I only have one skein of it. But if necessary, I'm fine with doing like maybe the top of the bag and the handles in some other coordinated colorway. I just don't know which one. But I'm gonna cross that bridge when I get to it. So I'm having fun with this. I also have another bag that's actually at my studio that is crocheted, very, very similar to this. It's just a lot of double crochet. So we'll see about that. We'll see how that goes. I'll update you if I ever finish these. All right, finally, I have 2 sweater projects that I have been working on. One I just started as like a reward for finishing, not finishing, a reward for getting married, for doing the wedding. I'll show you that one first because that one is actually also Republica Unicornia. Okay, it had gotten really dark and that was my fault because my settings were wrong, So I talked about this sweater maybe back in like February, maybe, when I was talking about different projects I had planned with yarn I had. And I was talking about this sweater. I was really excited about this sweater. And so now it's happening. So far, so good. This is going to be the Melville sweater, which has a whale on it. Not only does it have a whale on it, it also has Morse code for SOS worked into the raglan stitches, and it will have purl details for waves on the sleeves when I get to the sleeves. I'm not at the sleeves yet. Here it is. It's blue. This is actually also Republica Unicornia Pure BFL. It's the same base that I was just talking about. Right now I'm like not very far into the raglan, but I have worked almost a full SOS notation into the raglans, so it might be kind of hard to see, but basically there's like bobbles that make the dots for the S's, and then you do little cables to make the dashes for the O's. So it says like SOS, which is just such a fun touch. Obviously, as you saw from the picture, the whale colorwork chart doesn't come in till the bottom, so I'm just working this in blue the whole way. I'm making a size 4, which is for a 49-inch bust. I decided why not go big, cozy, oversized raglan. I'm very excited about this. This colorway, the blue, is called The Mystery of the Blue Train. And then I also have another Republica Unicornia, like kind of neutral light gray color. That is going to be the whale, which is called Cowlin. And I'm super excited about this. There isn't really a lot to say about it at the moment. Let's see, how many? I'm maybe only a third of the way through the raglan increases. I think it's like 60 something rows, and I think I've done maybe 20 something. So there's a ways to go on this. It's fingering weight, so that's going to take a while, but that also means it's going to be very like, it's not going to be too thick or heavy to wear. I do think the pattern actually calls for sport weight, and this is fingering weight. Whatever. This is worked on size 4 needles, and then I think it's size 2.5 for the hems and ribbing and collar and stuff. So I'm super stoked with this. Hopefully the next time you see this, there will be more progress on it. I'm very, very excited to get to the whale. So, and I will probably go up a size for the color work on my needles, just so it's not all bunchy. But yeah, I love this blue color. It's like slightly variegated. And the contrast color I have is a similar level of like very subtle variegation. So that's really exciting. I have been talking about this sweater for a while and in my mind and telling a lot of people about it. So now it's really happening, which is very exciting. And since I'm done with the wedding, I can just make this. I don't have to worry about, deadlines. It was a very good like dopamine cast on, and it's fun because I do have to think about it, like with the SOS detailing, but it's not so much work to think about that it's not fun, So it's making sure that I'm tracking where I am in the SOS detailing and where I am in the raglan increase number. Here's the skein. It's gotten it's done whatever that is, but whatever, man. It's a very nice blue. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I had to frog this sweater. It was the right decision. It was the decision that had to be made. The sweater was too big for me, and that was my fault, not the pattern's fault. I was working it, turns out with needles that were too big. I misread the pattern. I thought it called for 7s, called for 6s. And then I had also chosen a size that gave me like a lot of positive ease, which then meant that with the bigger needles, I was basically just like drowning in this sweater. So I haven't been able to try this one on yet again, but basically I had to tear out the entire sweater and now I'm redoing it. And I'm almost at the sleeve split again. Here it is. You might recognize this. This is a test for Megan Monroe, and it's due in a few weeks. It's due in mid-July. It's a raglan. It obviously has some color work. It's just a 1x1 color work with a contrast color and a main color. And this is also all of my yarn. So this red colorway is by the pound. The gold colorway is Forever. The teal colorway is Friends of the Public Garden. And this like neutrally one is Super Trooper. So it's from 4 different collections. I think it's very interesting looking. I'm very excited about it. I just changed main color here a few rows ago, so now I'm doing, it's a very rude helicopter. So now I'm doing Friends of the Public Garden as my main color. And I think it's in like 5 rows maybe that I am splitting for the sleeves and joining the body in the round. So that's very exciting. It already feels better. It looks better. I'm super excited to actually see how the whole thing looks on me. As soon as it is split for sleeves, I will try it on. Let's admire my floats for 1 second. They're very beautiful, very gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girls. I really like when a colorwork pattern, when you can basically see the pattern from the backside because of the floats. So like you can see where the longer floats are and everything. Looks really great. This is a grid pattern. I'm very excited. It is not, oh shit. Sorry, I just dropped some stitches, obviously. This pattern, because it's a raglan, it is now at that stage of raglanness where there's like too many stitches for the needles. But it's okay because I only have 5 more rows and then it's done. Then that problem gets fixed. So this is a good pattern, like I was saying. I do not recommend it as your first colorwork project or like first sweater project. It's a little bit more advanced than that. Mostly because you are working the short rows for the neck. You are working those in the colorwork and kind of establishing the colorwork as you go. Establishing the colorwork pattern while also doing raglan increases in those short rows. So that part of the pattern has been rewritten now to make it like very readable and very understandable for people with slightly less confidence in their knitting. But I would still maybe steer away from this as a first-time project. It's certainly more of an advanced project. However, if you are comfortable with that idea and you're comfortable with raglans and you're comfortable with short rows, this is a good first colorwork pattern because the colorwork is just this like, it's 1x1 in this 5-3-5 pattern with then these gaps in between. So there aren't a ton of like super long floats. The colorwork, once you are into it a little bit, the pattern is really easy to memorize. So I do recommend it if you want to try colorwork. Like you're very comfortable with sweaters and short rows and increases and stuff, you're good with that and you want to move on to colorwork, this is good for starting that. It's just not good for starting all of that at once. Like if any part of that sounds not good to you, don't do it. It's a great pattern though, I do recommend it. I really love all of the color combinations that other people in the test group are doing. Some people are doing like sort of monochrome, some are doing like really moody, some people are following like the very bright high contrast colors that are in the sample. which is here, which is an Explorer Knits and Fibers sample. Yeah, people have chosen like, that's one of the things I really love about testing patterns, is seeing what colors people choose. And everyone always chooses colors that are like so right for them, which is so fun and interesting. So I am super excited. I think hopefully I'm going to my studio later today, whenever I'm done filming this, but hopefully after that, or like while I'm at the studio, I'll be able to work on this and I'll be able to split for the sleeves today. That would be really, really great, because the first time I knit this, I had gotten to like this much below the sleeves before I was like, oh no, it's not good. It's too big. So I'm hoping to like make it past that point, which I will soon. Yeah, it's due, like I said, in a few weeks. The color work is really, really fun because you're changing colors every 12 or 15 rows. So, you know, it has that like, ooh, I want to keep working on this because I get to change colors thing, which is just very motivational. It feels really nice. So yeah, I think those are all of the projects I have going. I mean, we all know that I'm never showing you all of the projects I have going on, but these are all the projects that I have been working on lately. I am super excited about the Melville sweater. I'm really excited about this sweater, which doesn't really have a formal name yet, which is why I haven't said one. I'm very proud of myself to be done with the wedding projects. I'm very happy to be a married woman. And I'm getting excited to finish these sweaters or make more progress on them so that I can start working on some of these shirts. Yeah. Do I have anything else? As I said, my shop is on hiatus until July 6th. But come July, I will have a whole bunch of in-stock yarn for you. Feel free to comment here or on Instagram about what colorways you'd like to see, or which colorways you want to know what the inventory is of. I'm going to be spending the summer cooking up maybe a new collection, maybe some new colorways, and then I will also be getting prepped for markets that I'm doing in September and October. My honeymoon is in August, so I'm gonna try to like work as much as I can in July and early August to have a bunch of yarn dyed up for those festivals and markets, which is gonna be really exciting. So yeah, all of my links are below. I hope that you're having a good summer. If you have children, I hope that they are surviving the end of their school year, and so are you. I'm married, which is so exciting. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, which hopefully will now be a little bit sooner than my last one. Thank you for watching, and please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so that you know when I post new videos. Is that what people say? Subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications. Yeah, and just have a great, wonderful summer and enjoy the weekend. See you in the next one.